Well, it's just gone 11 p.m. local time here in Molyvos Harbour, and we've just been in a volunteer meeting working out where people are going to go tomorrow, whether they're going to go up to the transit camp in Oxy, or the locations, what they're going to do here down at Molyvos Harbour waiting for the boats that are undoubtedly going to come in. But that meeting had to be cut short. We got a call just about 10 minutes ago saying that there's a boat on its way from Turkey. There's about 60 refugees on there. So now it's the case of waiting for them to arrive, making sure the people are prepared and that we can offer them help when they do get here. Now, as I said on yesterday's report, coming in at night is much cheaper for these refugees. They still pay the smugglers money, upwards of €1,500 a time, often even more so, the volunteers have told me here. But this is why it's cheaper at night. It's dangerous. There's currents under the water, and we've just had another call from the Coast Guard saying they've just had to pick 60 refugees up and put them on the Coast Guard boat because their actual dinghy was sinking in the middle of the sea there. So just to give you a feel of what it's like here in Molyvos and Lesbos here at this time of night, all the locals walking around, they've got coats and jumpers on. It's probably down to about 14 degrees, which we think is probably okay, but the refugees who've been in the water, which undoubtedly they have as their boat was sinking, I personally can't think of what that must be like. So teams are down at the other side of the harbour, working out clothes, dry clothes, ready to give to these people who need them most. Every single person that got saved from the dinghy are now under arrest, as Greece jurisdiction rules that because they've been saved by their authorities, they're entering the country illegally. So it's a case of preparing dry clothes and shoes and making sure people who need the help get it. What struck me most on this particular boat was the amount of children, and for them to get a childhood bag, it amongst all the emotions going on, the stress, the relief, the anxiety, was something that they seemed to really appreciate, and they loved having something they could call their own. I asked people why they feel the need to put themselves and their families through what they do to reach Lesbos, and this, from the people who spoke the little English that there was the overwhelming answer.
Leave Syria? No. Syria kill anything, any woman, baby, anything kill. ذا بشار ذا إشت داعش choke bomb يعني. Dangerous. I'm going Almania. تمام, good.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You know, these are entire families of people, and the looking after the mums is equally important, because if the mums are not looked after, then they can't do a good job of looking after the children. And that was the thing we were short of, is they were wet up to their waist and we didn't have any underwear and trousers really for the mums. We were out of that. We had a hairdryer there and we were just drying off the guys. The men weren't so bothered about the trousers. They were just, you know, they were living with that. They were asking if we had any dry socks, because if your feet are cold and wet, it's just utterly miserable. But we had a hairdryer down there and we were drying them off the best that we can. But we just need more. They need more trousers and socks and shoes is the big thing at the moment. Dry things so that they can move on with the next journey. And for the children, of course, in the backpacks, we've got those, so we can just literally strip them and dress them in a full new outfit and they're warm. But for their mums and dads, it's not the same story. It was one of the weirdest experiences of this, I think. The thing that last night I was talking to my husband and my mum back at home when we got back. It was a bit late, but they'd been worried and they did say ring whatever time. One of the things that I'm saying to people is the strangest experience of my life has been putting children down on cardboard and putting them blankets over them, wrapping them up, helping them wrap up, doing that, and then coming back to sleep in a bed. So less than 500 yards away from me, are children sleeping rough.
So everyone managed to get off the dinghy onto the Coast Guard boat and now into Molyvos Harbour. They now face spending the night here because 1, they're under arrest and can't move until the police tell them that they can do so, and 2, there's no buses up to the transport area, which is in Oxy. It's a camp about 3 to 4 kilometres away from here, so the option is having to walk. But even if they walk, then there's nowhere to sleep, so it would just be sleeping outside. after a 3 to 4 mile walk. So we're all in a bit of limbo at the moment. People are going to stay here tonight. They've put cardboard down, there's blankets, food's being given out, as much as the volunteers can do really. So now it's a bit of a waiting game until tomorrow. We're at another volunteers meeting in the morning, and in the meantime you can still catch us. We're on Twitter, it's at Made in Tyne Weir, and you can also follow the hashtag, it's MITW Refugee. So I'll see you tomorrow night for another report from here in Mollyvoss.